they're all going to be discussing their success stories with the Fuel to Play 60 program. I'm going to start out first with Roberta Sipe. And Roberta is a 28-year veteran who has taught physical education and health at all levels, ranging from college down to her current position at Rosa Parks Edison Elementary in Perry Township. And Roberta is the wellness coordinator for Rosa Parks and is in charge of all programming related to health and wellness. And she's been an active member of the Indiana Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance for many years, and served as vice president of the Elementary Council for 3 years, and is vice president of the awards committee. And for her efforts, leadership, and expertise, Roberta was honored as the 2007 Indiana and Midwest Elementary Teacher of the Year. In addition, she was selected as the 2007 NASPE National Elementary PE Teacher of the Year. So this honor allowed her to travel around the country to present best practices in teaching. And she is going to give her talk about what she's done with Fuel to Play 60. Roberta?
Can you hear me as a PE teacher if I don't use the microphone? Yeah. All right, that's why my voice is so crummy, because I've taught in a gym and coached in a gym all my life, but it'll be a little easier to walk around. I'm very happy to be here, to be one of the presenters. Unfortunately, I have to scoot out. I have another meeting in Avon at 7, so I'm going to try to give you this. I apologize if this doesn't look professional. I'm not a tech person, and I don't want to have a death by PowerPoint. That's what I call it. So I'm going to quickly review what I have done, and I so enjoyed meeting my table mates tonight. I have a very young teaching partner. He's 31. My daughter's 31. So I always tell him that I'm his mom. And every once in a while, I get all these harebrained ideas. And he goes, "What are you doing this for? Why are you going to this meeting? Why are you going to the Colts?" And I'll say, because I enjoy, number one, presenting. Number two, it's a way to get ideas and to present ideas. And I can collaborate with people I don't even know and come up with, oh, then something goes off in my mind. So I have been very blessed the last 8 years for being in Perry Township. I should have worn my vote yes for Perry Township. For being a National PE Teacher of the Year in 2007, I could be unemployed on May 4th. And that is very unfortunate what's happening due to cost containment around the state. But there will be 39 specialist teachers in my district who will probably not have a job if our referendum doesn't pass. We've been working very, very hard, and I am very hopeful that it'll go through. Because if it doesn't, then I can't write another grant, and I want to. I'm a very prolific grant writer, and I'm here to tell you that if you have not written a grant, and I looked around and there were just a few of us, it is not a difficult thing to do. If you can think of the idea, you can do it. So let's see what happens here. Changes that have come about for the last 8 years. One of the young ladies at my table is from Carmel. My school has been a member of the Alliance for a Healthier Generation since 2007. There were originally 212 schools in Indiana. There were schools in Carmel, Perry, and Franklin Township. And we made numerous changes throughout our buildings, and that's how I became the wellness queen. If there's anything that does with wellness in my building, that's me. That's student wellness, staff wellness. I'm in charge of the drug-free club and more. There's too much to go on. Some of the things, we've made major changes in our cafeteria. We finally have recess. I know that's hard to believe, but when my building opened 8 years ago, our kids had 0 recess, and now we at least have some. We have physical activity breaks during the day. One of the things at my display that I talked to several people about, if you're not familiar with the Jamming Minute, please make a note of this. It's a free service on the internet. You sign up and you get a weekly email that gives either a physical activity break for your kids to stand up next to their desk or sit down. And the reason I'm very proud of this is because they now encourage your students to make them. And so we've had 3 submissions that were accepted. So these are on the website. They're free. Your classroom teachers, if your kids are getting squirrely, get them up, plug in your laptop, flash it up there. If you don't have a laptop to do that, you can just print these off. The next thing was I have a student wellness group. It's called WIN, Wellness in Numbers. We meet once a month on the 2nd Wednesday after school. And I told my table that I am a control freak and I have a really hard time sometimes letting go, but this year it's been wonderful because they have taken over, and the results of this Fuel Up to Play 60, much of it is from them. And we have a wellness council. What could we do more? I'm thinking, I'm doing pretty good. What else we could do? Well, along came Fuel Up to Play 60, of course. I signed up 2 years ago, but honestly, I just signed up, and I didn't do anything. So here are some of the things. I apologize, my picture's a little skewed, but they ask you to do a kickoff event, and I came in the fall to this event, and I'm trying to think. I'm a firm believer of having assemblies that cost no money. And an example I give, a lot of schools will pay $300, $400, $500, $600 to have somebody come juggle balls and say, do not take drugs. And there is no research that says seeing somebody juggle balls that you're not going to do drugs. So I do anything that costs no money. And so the students that you see up there, the older kids, I asked 8 or 10 former athletes that are athletes now that were former students at my school to come back, and they were thrilled. And I had baseball, football, cheerleading, taekwondo, swimming, I forget the other one. And they got up and they talked to our students, and they had to tell what they did to get their bodies ready and their regimen for physical activity and why it was important to be in shape, and also the importance of a good diet. The one gentleman, the African American on the right-hand side, I shared the story. He comes from a very, very difficult background, and he was a pain in the neck and a thorn in my side when he was at our school. And I had to go up, I had tears in my eyes, and I had to give him a hug. Because as a freshman, he has totally changed his life around. He was more articulate than some of our seniors, and I was so proud of him. And our kids went nuts. If we had had an hour and a half assembly, they would have loved it. But they wanted to ask questions, but we had to move on. The second thing I did, this is my little autistic kindergartner. I love him to death. We have a carnival every winter, and my wellness group always has some sort of a taste testing. So we decided to kind of go off on what Dinah and Mary had a chocolate milk booth, and they provided us with the little blue Colts mustaches, and if they tried the milk, the new milk that's in our cafeteria, they got a mustache, and we did take some pictures of kids. And then I started what was called the Rockets Recess Walking and Jogging Club, and you see the kids are holding popsicle sticks. If you saw my display, many people have seen these before. They're called fitness finders. You can go online, you can create your own box. I have my toe charms on my tennis shoe, and they have to reach a certain mileage goal, and when they do, they get their first toe charm. I've got funky little feet and funky little tennis shoes, and they got 5 and 10 and 20 miles, a marathon, 26.2, 30, 40, 50, etc. And we have a 2-lane, 1/10 of a mile track around our part of our parking lot. When they do a lap, they get a popsicle stick. At the end of the recess, all they do is present their popsicle sticks, and I have one of my wellness kids noted in the book, and it just runs. I don't have to do anything, they do it all. We were lucky enough, I saw in the PowerPoint before, this Jumbotron, or this was one of the slides, about 5 of these kids are my kids. This one gentleman, the referee on the left-hand side, was a hoot. We were standing on the sidelines watching these big, ginormous people from Pittsburgh guys warm up. Their biceps were like this big. And this guy is jogging up the field and then backing up. He was warming himself up. And then he came over and said, let's do a photo op. So we got us all together. He was very, very entertaining for the kids. Unfortunately, due to cost containment, my school has gotten rid of intramurals. And that's unfortunate because that is a good avenue for physical activity for kids. There wasn't anything I could do about it, so this young gal, the gal on the right, who's got her arm up in the air, she again is another former student. She's starting college next year in dance performance. I love to teach dance and PE. I am not a hip-hop teacher. So I asked her to come in and teach, specifically teach hip-hop, and that's why their hands are all up in the air, you know, and they loved it. They came for a Monday, for 4 straight Mondays. My advice to people who want to write a grant, sign up on the website, go for the grant. All the grants that I write, this is one of the easiest ones to write because it's a narrative grant. If you can write a paragraph and write it grammatically correct, you can do it. You have to have the vision. I told my table, I did mine back end too. I came up with my vision of what I wanted to do, and then I figured out how to implement it. That's kind of not the way you should do it, but that's what I did. So you need to create a realistic budget that you can handle. Rarely ask for the entire amount. I know that sounds strange, but in all of my grant writing, if they say $3,000, I don't ask for $3,000. My grant was $2,785. That's just something that I've learned over the years. If you want to ask for $3,000, go for it, but I just don't. Ask for help, Diane and Mary, or feel free to ask me. Give me a call. I'll give you my email and my phone number if you'd like it. Get help. You can't do it yourself. Now, I am not exactly the right person to say that because I don't have a lot of help in my building. My building is young teachers with very small children, so I'm kind of it. But my kids are out of the house, so that's my excuse. So I know I've talked fast. A couple of other things that you can consider. How can you keep track of your kids doing 60 minutes a day? Our students have to read 30 minutes a night. This is called a reading log. I thought, I don't want to generate another piece of paper. So my reading coordinator added another column, and it says 60 minutes of play. So if they get 60 minutes, then their parents just initial it, and I count it. And I had a big, my size 11.5 shoes. One I spray painted gold, one I spray painted silver. So the classroom who has the highest percentage gets the gold shoe for the month, and the one who has the silver gets the second. This is a cookbook that we put together. Didn't charge enough, but it was very affordable for our families. We asked for healthy recipes from staff and families, and we sold it for $3 at Christmas. We made $300 profit for all the work I did. But we have some money to work with. And
questions for Roberta before she leaves?
That's a really good question. If you didn't hear it in the back, how do you have time to mark it? Our recess is only about 15 minutes long. Right. So I have the kids, they come in, I have a crate, and inside I divided, I have binders, different colors. Red is blue, 3rd grade, blue is 4th grade, pink is 5th grade, whatever. And there's the classroom teachers' names are in there, and the kids who sign up, it's in alphabetical order, so it's very organized. So once they come around, they get their popsicle sticks. Let's say they did 5. They line up. They have one person marking on this side and one person on that side. I did 5. They see who it is. They just circle the number, and it just. The recess teachers blow the whistle about 3 or 4 minutes before the end, and that's their cue to line up and get it all done. I'm sure there's probably other ways to do it. That was just what worked for me.
Anything else? Thank you, Roberta. Oh, there is one. Yes.
Can you tell us your email?
Sure. It's long. I apologize. I'm at Edison School. It's Roberta, Roberta, Sipe, S as in Sam, I, P as in Peter, E, at, keep going, rpe.edisonlearning.com. So if you know of anybody who lives in Perry Township, vote yes so I have a job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.